Now, I think what people, one thing you should appreciate is that we have a fairly very intelligent president, young, vibrant, and intelligent, with a good PR. When your visitor comes and advises you how to demolish which of your bedrooms and so on, you appreciate, you know them. But eventually the decision rests on, and you have seen the way our president has acted with regard to ICC, even when the whole of Africa were telling me, don't go. Everybody, some people came here. It is a few of us who said, Your Excellency, go. So M7 can talk and give advice, and we appreciate by virtue of his age. He is free to talk left and talk right, but us as younger people will make the right choice. And I trust and I can assure you the president will always make the right choice when it comes to ICC, when it comes to serious decisions. We will not be led by the news by a neighboring president, whether it is M7 or M8 or Mugabe. No.
Okay.
Let me tell you. You know, the thinking of Museveni actually mirrors the thinking of most African presidents. To them, ICC is good as long as it does not touch them, and therefore it's a question of self-preservation. They will demonize ICC, they will castigate it, as long as if in their imagination is targeting the sitting African presidents. As long as they shield themselves against ICC is good, okay? And therefore, what you see happening in Uganda is basically what we expect to happen everywhere else in Africa. So Museveni would cooperate with ICC when it comes to prosecution of Dominic Ongwen of LRA. But when it comes to prosecuting a fellow president, which he knows will set a precedent for himself, then he has to oppose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a very interesting photo, actually.
I know.
So Museveni shaking Bensouda's hand and walking around. But I want to actually congratulate President Uhuru on his take and how he handled the issue of ICC, because even after the AU resolution, he actually still went ahead and attended his sessions in The Hague. And I want to be very clear here that I totally oppose the idea of an African kind of ICC. I personally think that whenever you make a law or whenever you're legislating, we must do that with with posterity in future and thinking of the devil on the throne. We must have that in mind. We cannot now say we are donating millions of dollars to operationalizing an African kind of ICC because we have been touched as a country. I think that would be setting a very wrong precedence, personally, and for the future and for the future generations, we must not go that route.
Okay, finally.
You see, one thing you have to also appreciate. Fatou Bensouda is our own girl. She's a Gambian. She has an equal appeal when she sits down with you persuasively and tells you the same thing another African leader will tell you any other time. She has scuttled Kenya's efforts through the Africa group 2-3 times. Through 2-3 times. She's used countries that can leverage, like South Africa, Nigeria. She's our own, flesh and blood. So it's not. So one thing, though, as I agree with Pio, is that the contradictions of Museveni is nothing new. I can tell you for a fact, when Sudanese president was indicted by the ICC, he could not. There were countries he could set foot in Kenya, but he could never even imagine visiting Uganda because he thought he would be handed over. He could not think about going to South Africa. So there's a way in which there's a certain level of commitment to the obligations in Uganda. And number two, Museveni also has not wants the ICC to sort out his problem in the north. So therefore, he will continue to give it that kind of credibility. But what also Museveni wants to do is to be by chemistry, to be the leader of this region. And what he has done is to play within some of the triumphs and tribulations of some of his junior leaders who've just been elected. That's why you see, like, if it was Raila, probably Raila would have rivaled that type of dominance within the region. But Uhuru, and I've seen him with my own eyes, is fairly respectful. I was with him when Museveni came to Mombasa, and we went to the Mombasa International show, ASK show, and they respect him as an elder. He's a man who in his 70s, they're in their 50s. He literally can be like a father to them. So I think they give him that kind of respect. But outside that, I think finally Kenya must realize when it comes to these matters, you stand alone. So I think Museveni finally also realized this is just one of a young, brilliant, celebrated lawyers who now heads the ICC. And you have to realize one thing. Bensouda has opened a very aggressive strategy in Africa. And being African herself, she has really been able to now to undo a few of these things. That's why Martha is not only rejecting this African court. There are a lot of countries that actually have rejected it pronto. So I think these are some of the things that you also have to contextualize. And Kenya needs to stop using its energy, leverage, authority, resources on these futilities.